She's here. Mom's always support, right? Yeah, your mom and my mom the first ones on. So shout out to everybody for tuning in. We jump right into it. All right, everybody. We're gonna start with the book Fear. Shout out to everybody who supported the book. We broke 1,000 sales. When the time comes, all the proceeds go to the Mary Kemp Foundation. So shout out to the Mary Kemp Foundation. Support the book Fear.
Can you hear me now?
And shout out to my man Clarity. Check out the work that he's doing. I actually was repping some of his merch the other day. So shout out to my man Clarity. And always we're going to shout out Howard's Blend. Get that plant-based protein. He's about to have a big sale coming up. I think he's doing a Black Friday sale. I know for right now, if you use the code HAHOMES, you get 15% off the pre-workout and that plant-based protein. He got the chocolate in. I drink it basically every day. Check out Howard's Blend. Last but not least, we're going to shout out the good folks at the Friendship Inn, 601 West Veterans Memorial Boulevard, the best hotel in Killeen. I don't even think it's any competition. If you're in Killeen, check out the Friendship Inn. Thank you to them for sponsoring our snacks and everything for people in the crowd. So without further ado, we got my main man, DG, Dylan Green himself. What's going on, bro?
Oh, man, living life.
Good to see you, bro. I was so happy you said yes to the show.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I wasn't sure if you would want to be on the podcast.
Oh, I didn't see yesterday's show. I thought it was today.
Oh, no. I'm saying like in general, like I'm glad that you said yes to even being on the show. I didn't know if you would say yes or no. Like,
oh, yeah. Man, I'm always, you've opened the doors a lot for me. So I'm always down to try something new.
I appreciate that.
Man, I made it pretty far ways. Where else could I go? You gonna lead me further up the ladder, or I doubt you're gonna send me back downtown.
Nah, for sure. Now only up. We gonna grow together. How about this? You want to tell them how we met?
Oh yeah, man. We're doing work downtown on a street named College. Worst house that we've ever done. And I was actually doing the work for somebody else. Dude owed me like $1,500 and wasn't going to pay me. So I quit going. Hussein texted me, luckily I rented through him. So you had my number. It texted me, hey, let's work a deal. You want to finish this? And we ain't stopped since then.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that was what, 4 years ago?
For almost to the date.
That's what I'm thinking.
Almost to the date.
Been a quick 4 years too.
Yeah, 4 years past. We were backstage talking, and you're gonna see how this interview's gonna go. We were backstage just messing around, and Dylan was killing me on my weight. when we put this up on Instagram, we're gonna put the pictures of Dylan and I both
4 years ago.
4 years ago, and you'll see. Yeah, we both
put on some weight.
Good living though. That's good living.
You make good money, you eat good. What I've been told.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So we start out on College Street, which was a 2-bedroom in the front, and then it was a shed in the back with a carport, and we turned that into a 3-bedroom.
I think calling it was sheds an understatement. More of like a pole barn to me. Just some 4x4 post and a tin roof and sent it. We made it do what it do. It took a lot of adjusting, a lot of late night conversations on where we're gonna put this and where we're gonna squeeze this, and it took a lot of work to finish that.
And that's one of those videos that was lost to the archives. So if you go on, because
none of that made it.
We had the videos, but you know what I'm saying, we're not gonna promote.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying.
Right.
We move on.
That's underneath us now is what I'm thinking. We're doing a lot better work from that.
Yeah.
We went from that to Alamo. Alamo was another lesson in itself. And then
what do we learn on Alamo? You can share. What do we learn on Alamo?
Oh, never underbid yourself.
Yeah.
I learned that, and there's so many things. Like when I first started doing this, I thought I knew a lot. But whenever you're doing it for yourself, there's so many little things that you could run into and just ruin the whole job. They take every bit that you got to finish the job. But now, 4 years down the road, I'm like, you know what? We're going to remove that wall right there, and we're going to have this problem, and that problem. Oh, I don't care what you say, what it looks like. I'm telling you what's behind the wall.
Right.
Is what I learned from Alamo. Don't ever take it as it looks.
So we've been rocking 4 years. I want to say well over 100 houses.
Well, I'd like to say well over 100 houses. I did what, 3 handwritten statement books, 50 each, and now I'm on invoice number 286.
You just did a house for us today. It's
yeah, we just finished the house today.
Yeah, and then we got with all the new acquisitions and whatnot. So let's go back even further. How long have you been doing construction? You doing this as a kid, right?
Man, I started doing this when I was probably about 10, 11 years old. My Uncle Glenn, oh, you're just going to sit there at the house? Well, come to work with me. Make $20, $30. And I thought that was good money. Shit. That motherfucker robbed me, dude.
100%.
He got so much free, cheap labor. And I'm like, damn. And you made a killing off me.
Right.
And you want to bitch about buying me a hot dog when I was 13 years old. Look, I'm making you how much money doing this shit illegally? Lessons learned, you know. He did teach me to do one hell of a mud man. So
now you know what that was? Don't look at it like that. Look at it like that was admission into school.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because like
my tuition, huh?
Yeah, because you could have been doing it for free, and that was like on the job training. You know what I'm saying? Like an apprentice. So at least you was getting money, you know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, and we could get into this a little bit more later, or we could jump into it now. Like sometimes we lose money on houses.
Oh, yeah. But it's the lesson learned out of it with the outcome of it that, we might have took a loss here. You know, I've took a loss on a couple houses, but I learned from the, hey, trying to bounce around this, and it ended up costing me that $300 I was trying to save by bypassing this, because now we got to go back and do that shit again.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And then so college we learned, and Alamo was during at the beginning of COVID.
It was like we started Alamo, and then like 2 weeks into it, everything shut down.
Right.
Everything shut down.
And what we learned on Alamo, should I give this away? Because it costs us. Should I give it away for free to the public? We can give away.
Hey, man, you give a little dime from here and there.
So what we learned from Alamo is you got to check the septic. That's when we bought that 100-foot snake with the camera on it, because the tree roots ate up the plumbing.
Yeah, we rented the 100-foot drain snake, trying to just get the drain to drain. And we couldn't get it with the 100-foot industrial commercial snake. And that's just, man, I've never seen drains that bad.
Yeah, and those people. So what happens is when we started, we were buying homes that are 4 or 5 years, 10 years, 7 years, empty, vacant. Nobody touched them. So what happens is the house looked nice and beautiful and everything. The family goes in there and they start actually using it. And then the backup comes a week or 2 later. And this family, poor family, they were nice people. Like the toilet would back up, overflow the
and both units.
Yeah.
It would flood the bathrooms down the hallway. I remember once we finished it, a month and a half down the line, we just remodeled the whole bathroom. But due to the septic, we went back and had to redo the flooring and redo the cabinets in both of the bathrooms because of it backing up. And that was, like you said, 2-3 weeks down the line?
Yeah, because that Alamo was actually a 3-2, and they converted it, and then they made it 2 separate apartments.
Yeah, a 2-bedroom apartment on one side and a 4-bedroom on the other.
Yeah, and they made like little room. Remember, because like they only had one thermostat, one HVAC, one hot water heater. So what happened is it was too many people in there that shouldn't have been in there. So it really wasn't built for 2 families. No. And then the tree roots had messed it up. So we learned on that one. And looking back, we actually really didn't do that bad. I actually bought that one, kept it myself, and then sold it a few months later because the market shifted. So we ended up breaking even.
It's still around.
Yeah. Lisa Marie still manages it.
I got an estimate to go remove a tree over there 2-3 days ago.
Yeah. So we learned. So what happens is, like what I always say is, like, there's no losses, there's only lessons. So we learned, all right, for the next house, this ain't gonna happen again, because that also happened in college. Remember, we fixed all the
Mhm.
floors, and then college.
Sewer had to redo everything, the
But-
whole downstairs.
Because the bathroom was upstairs,
Mhm.
all the sewage ran through the floors, dripped through the ceilings, onto people's stuff. It was the worst.
Mhm.
College was up there. I forgot how bad college was.
College was definitely the worst house that I've ever done.
For
You
real?
know, even what's that one on Longview? Longview was pretty bad, but nowhere near as bad as college.
Yeah, Longview was long. It just took long.
Yeah, well, not necessarily just took long, but there was a lot of rot in that one too. That whole back wall, 6 foot up the wall, had to be rebuilt. All the beams and all the rim joists, everything was rotten on that. Just because that one back door, like you said, it was open for 4 or 5 years. Nobody lived there, and it was just constant downpour rain on it, and it just messed everything up on that back half.
Yeah, and we still did okay on that one. That was one that was like kind of like the beginning of what we're dealing with right now,
Yeah.
where we're closing on houses that are finally like, because normally we do a house 3-4 weeks, we'd own it 90 days, flip it, sell it, no problem.
Yeah, most of them, that's how it tends to go. College was bad. Alamo wasn't that bad, but it was bad aftermath. Waco, that's the only bad one we got now.
Yeah, Waco's the only. Well, how about this? So for you, Waco's bad because it's an hour away.
It's an hour away, and by the time you get there, get everything drug out, go get materials, and then come back. And then people, some of my employees, they're single daddies, and they got to be home by 3 o'clock to get the kid off the school bus. So it's a hassle going that far to do 3 or 4 or 5 hours worth of work, and then have to come back to get kids off the school bus.
Right.
That's the only thing that's dragging out about Waco. Other than that, now that we're doing everything brand new, it should be a cakewalk from here.
And then we could talk about this one piece. They red tagged us. 2 units were done, ready to go.
Like all we had to do was paint floor and cabinets and slap a stop work order on the window.
And
over a window.
And opened
everything
to the studs.
Everything. Because we had a plumber in there. He did some shiesty work. They saw that. Well, now I want to see everything.
Yeah. And my wife said that you come in clutch so many times. You bailed out middle of the night, last minute, please. And
Coach Street.
Coach, yep.
I remember that one.
I was out there too. I remember I was removing trash that one day. Left midnight.
You came what, 10 o'clock at night, came back at 7 a.m. We were still there working, but it had to be done. Another contractor had the job, was just dragging it out. I think, he says because there's only one guy and him, but other than that, we knocked it out in what? 14 hours.
Yeah, 6 guys in there, 5 or 6.
6 guys in there, and we was rocking and rolling. We knocked out everything in 14 hours.
Yeah, that's actually, and you know what? I'm gonna put that link up here. So y'all, I remember that day I shot like my daily gems, and I had shades on. I was on no sleep. Joshua was out there. We were moving trash. All of these. So you'll see some of those videos. So maybe you could appreciate some of the behind the scenes a little bit more. And some of like the before videos, because sometimes I'm not here, I'm whatever, and then like Dylan will shoot the video so we could kind of assess the price, see if we're gonna take the house, see if we're gonna pass on it, and then you see the after. So you get to see some of this man's quality work on his camera work.
You're about to get a lot better now.
Yeah, we just talk about that. Why the work gonna get better with the photos and the video?
Oh, yeah. Well, got a lot of guidance in it, guide me along the right way of life. So we can take the best videos, pictures. We're getting our work there too, taking a lot of time and trying to show these guys that I got now how to do it. So it's not so much more on me, but we'll see how that goes.
Let's talk about that. Because when we met, first off, we met like you were like mid-20s.
Yeah, I was like 25, 26, something like that. I'll be 30 next month.
And then shout out to your dad. Shout out to Rick. You know what I'm saying? Like Rick and I established our relationship while y'all was on college.
Mm-hmm.
And then What
When I
happened?
had nobody working for me, and now I've got 7 employees.
You run 2 or 3 job sites at a time.
When we can, we run 2 or 3 jobs and service calls on top of that. I've come a long way from a busted down ass truck to having 3 trucks, 2 trailers, 7 employees, 100 grand in fucking tools.
Yeah.
Man, I got a 2-car garage, man. I can't even get in the damn thing. I
And that-
want to bring more stuff. Josh brought me a fridge the other day. We had to put it at the edge of the garage. We couldn't even get it in the garage, really. Had to push stuff back.
In 2 weeks, I'm gonna have a lot more storage for you when this next closing comes.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and it'll be right here in Heights, and we have the storage over here. So that's I brought you on here just because I thought we have a good conversation.
Mhm.
But it's cool. We also had to do our success stories video, which maybe you're getting a little bit of sneak peek of this. And you don't have to share the numbers if you don't want to exactly. You can or whatever, however you want. But I remember maybe this is when we were working on what was that house on Fort Hood Road? Was that
Westover?
Westover.
Yep.
And we had a conversation, and that's when we got the Mary Kemp lots and all that. Because
Yep.
at that point we were very starting to get consistent. It was like
We were starting. We had it down pat.
Yeah, we had a system. We knew who was going, and that's when I really learned how to flip and manage the crews myself. And then you had your crews, and then delegating because and this is a compliment to you. So I want people to understand this. When we first started out, it would be like, I'm gonna leave a job site because there's a service call, and to go make a quick $60 and to slow down a job for 3 or 4 hours to make.
I was sure I would jump on that in a heartbeat. And now I'm working on a $15,000 job. I don't want to be bothered with that little $68 service call. And I can make more money in my time that it takes for me to leave a job site, drive 30 minutes across town, do a 5-10 minute job, and then drive 30-40 minutes back across town. Now, do you imagine the work that was lost just me driving across? I see that.
Right.
I see what you were talking about back then when I was trying to take all the service and take the big jobs. No, man, had to prioritize what I was working on. Why would I put $80 in the way of me making a $5,000 check?
And
that service call will be there 2 or 3 days later when I'm done with this.
Exactly.
And it ain't going nowhere. It took a while for me to learn that.
And that's the thing, and that's a credit to you because you gave me the opportunity to kind of, I'm not gonna say take you under the wing, but show because you already had the contract stuff, but to show you how to grow as a business owner.
Yeah.
And all of these other things. And I appreciate you for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, we're going to continue to grow. We'll continue to do what we're doing. Soon to be 10 to 12 people and 15. And because we're all growing, Joshua's business is growing. My business is growing. Your business is growing. And that's going to allow us more opportunities. And what's happening now is we're on kind of like a downswing in terms of the market. But that's creating opportunities for us. So we're about to get real busy again.
Mm-hmm.
So enjoy those Sundays where
I'm enjoying the days off as they come. But because I already know, there's a lot more that goes behind the scenes. We late night text 1-2 o'clock in the morning. We'll have a quick little 20-minute, 30-minute conversation, or 8-10 o'clock at night, about to go to bed. Hey, we'll talk about this. I know there's stuff in the making. I know there's stuff coming. That's why, like I said, how it slowed down and it slowed down. I've really had to prepare my guys for that. I tried to prepare them, but not everybody can see it as, oh, you just ain't got no work. No, you make $14, $15 an hour. You should be able to save up because in wintertime, it always slows down for every contract. I don't care who you are or what you do. In contracting work, winter means slow down.
Right.
There's even tree work, landscaping, everything slows down in wintertime just because of the weather itself. It's not hot. Stuff don't dry as fast. You can't get as much done. Everything's going to slow down through the winter. I try to explain that to my guys, but, they just live life now. And that's where I'm looking at now where, hey, try to be prepared for that. And,
right.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. But when there's a will, there's a way.
For sure.
You always back a broke man down into the corner. He's gonna come out.
Yeah, pressure makes diamonds or burst pipes. It is what it is. And you being so young when we started, that's a credit to you. And you know what I'm saying? And like I said, and we had like, again, shout out to Rick, shout out to your dad.
Mhm.
Our relationship got close. We was like, all right, we gotta make sure Dylan's successful.
Yeah. No, you and the old man right on that first year or two were riding my ass. I was just taking it for what it is and keeping it pushing. With you and the old man talking and then talking with me, it made me see where the priorities were, see where I was fucking up a lot. Everybody messes up.
Right.
I see where I messed up. I've made those changes. Moving forward, let's not make this a problem. Let's learn from the mistake.
100%. And for myself, and I'll say this now because you never know how people will come back and see this. Like, I've been in administrative roles. I've been a coach. I've worked with adults, this, that, and third. But it's something different about when you have your own business. Like, remember when I was on Fort Hood Street and I had my staff and we had, the service coordinator and the front desk.
That was the worst time for me
because you had to deal with so many.
I had to have so many numbers, deal with so many people to get it. I had to go talk to this person to get a key and then go over here, talk to this person to know where to go. It made it easy for you. It made it worse for me a little bit, Get a service call, I had to go through 2 or 3 people before we got figured out what was going on and where I had to go. But everything's a curveball, you just got to learn with it.
Yeah, because we were building and flying at the same time because
at that time you were booming though.
It was so much going on. New houses.
You were doing property maintenance on that. We didn't have leasing. You was doing everything. So there was a lot of work going down out of that office.
Yeah, I was in the office probably 40 to 45 hours a week, plus what I would have to go home, spot check, everything. I was putting in easy 80 hours a week just on property management. Then I had to cater to all my other stuff in other states, try to do all this other stuff. And then I think for me, that's where COVID became a blessing because everything had to shut down. And then, I had to let go of my staff. I didn't have to have the office. I closed that down. And that's when I kind of got rid of property management and I sent it over to the next title company.
Yeah.
And then I focused on flipping. And then we started hitting on flipping because I could just focus on those things now. And I think that's one of the things which I'm at this transition point now where 99% of my money would be in the street. I know sometimes people see them big checks and they're like, oh, whatever. But what people don't understand, and this is something I learned working with us, if you say, hey, this job is 4 to 6 weeks, I'm like, okay, I got to find the next house. So I had what I call an ABC system. You were in a house that was B. C was the next house I was buying. And then when you were getting ready to start on that one, I was selling A. The money from A was going to pay for the next A, and then it was ABC. So I always knew if you were in one house, I had to have one ready for you to go when you were done. And then the money for the first one had to be ready for the next one for that one. So everything kind of had to hit. And what happened is we had 8, 10, 15 houses at a time. So it was okay. What happened now is closings aren't hitting how they're supposed to hit.
And within the past year, it's like they've gotten a lot more picky too.
Because they can. Because it's a buyer's market.
Right. They're buying a house with said money. I understand people are going to nitpick, but there's been a lot more nitpicking within the past year. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just they're a lot more picky on what they're going to finance.
Yeah.
We first started like Alamo. They bought that quick. But if we do something like Alamo now, I don't know if it's your clientele base that went up, but if we come up with something with Alamo now, you're going to come in like, Dylan, what the fuck was this?
Right.
This ain't what we do no more.
Right. Yeah. And you know what it is too? So let's go back to Alamo. And these numbers may or may not be public and they're a little fuzzy, but we bought Alamo for 40 grand. I think our budget was 25. We ended up putting in 40. We ended up cashing out for 120, which sounds great. Like, oh, wow, you made all that money back. But remember, we had to go to the next house. So we had to have money for that. Alamo right now is worth $200,000. Yeah.
The way it sits.
Yes, $200,000.
KDK.
Yeah, that's the candy cane house.
With the house we learned, red does not go good. It's trim.
These dudes painted all the trim. It's my yeah, we both learned. It's literally
Lesson learned.
we're gonna put the picture up. It's literally still to this day the candy cane house. It is candy cane red and white. It looks like a franchise. Like it's yeah. We learned
All the one in Killeen.
we learned that HAHOMES colors do not look good on homes. You know what I'm saying? So
At least that one with that much trim.
yeah, no, it was way too much red and white on that one. It was way too much red and white on that one. But yeah, and that's some of the fun. Like it's cool that we can laugh about it now because I remember. And also, this is where you don't pick a paint color off a picture.
No.
Because the picture I got was like a little bit darker, looked a little bit more maroon burgundy. It looked a little deeper red. The red you had was like M&M red. Like it was like primary, like kindergarten red. Like people across the street was like, "Yo, y'all really gonna paint the house that color?" And when I got there, we were all like, well, we're not gonna use this paint anymore." So I mean,
I held on to that 5-gallon bucket for 2.5 years, and then when I moved out of Westover, I had to throw it away.
Yeah, there was no reason to use that.
I couldn't even. I like red. Red's my favorite color. But
Yeah,
that's a little excessive red we had.
Yeah, there's sometimes the colors just don't work, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we could laugh about that stuff now. So I reflect on it, and I think about like again like that staff or some people that I used to work with, and we could talk about this a little bit more. Is like somebody would make like a small mistake and I'd be like, man, I can't work with you. Whereas instead of being like taking it as a learning opportunity or giving them another chance or trying to coach, I mean, I'm not saying that people like drop a pen and I fire them, but there were just people that I like now I'm like, damn, I think we could have still kept going because if I had that patience. And one thing that I do now and I still will always do though is I don't even really care about loyalty because I understand it's business. But when it comes to integrity, there are people that we work with for years, and I call it stealing, where they try to get over here, try to get over there, and instantly cut. I don't care how valuable I can. If I can't replace you up front, you're getting cut. Because if I can't trust you with $20,
damn sure ain't gonna trust you with 20,000.
That's a fact.
And that's the problem with me finding employees. You know, finding somebody. You know, I've got $100,000 worth of tools. People have sticky hands. It's hard to find somebody. Hey, here's the keys to my trailer. I'm gonna put you on a job site, do this job, and I come back, my trailer gone.
Right.
It's hard to find people with loyalty, you know, not necessarily loyalty, but integrity. Like you said, you know, I don't know, maybe because I was raised right, but that was just into my skull, you know, as far back as I can remember. That ain't yours, don't fucking touch it.
Right.
And you know, for somebody that could steal somebody's tools, you know, that's just can't stand a fucking thief.
Yeah,
it's basically the same damn thing.
Thieves and liars. That's something I can't forgive. That's something I don't forget. And I'll say this. Unless they're just being like fake. Some of these people are like really cool, like as far as like hanging out, barbecue. But it's just like maybe they came up on a hardship. And it's like, man, why would you do that?
Why would you risk it all over something small where you know where if you wouldn't have done that, you'd have made 10 times fold?
That's a stereotype about contractors. Do you find that that's not about yourself, but like, because I know you know every damn contractor in town. And
there's a lot of shady motherfuckers, and very few of them have integrity. And a lot of the people I run into, Colleen, that say they know this business, no, they don't know this remodel work. They know how to make it look pretty. They can put lipstick on a pig.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's all about how far you want to take it, I guess.
1000%. Yeah. Shout out to everybody in the comments. I'm lost in our conversation. So shout out to everybody. Yeah, Regis was like stepping over dollars to pick up nickels. PST was going on, and shout out to everybody that tuned in. Yeah, and that happens. I think it's like such a short-term mindset where it's like, well, I'm gonna try to make my money off this job because I don't know when the next one's coming. But if you just thought about it in terms of like that long-term relationship, because I said this today, and you could stop me if I'm incorrect. There's sometimes like you give me a price, I say, Dylan, run with it. Cool, no problem. 80% of the time. And then sometimes I have a job where I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do really good on this job. Yo, take extra money. Have I
Yep. Sure have.
take extra money?
Mhm.
And then there's sometimes where it's like, look, we're not gonna buy this house because I can't.
Make
There's
no money off of
yeah,
it.
there's no money for me to make it. So, do you want to
Mhm.
make some money or no money, or wait for the next
Oh
one?
yeah, we have that conversation every time before we even start a project between me and you. We have a really real good understanding on how it is. Like you said, integrity. Now, there's been a couple jobs that I've messed up before, he ran short on, And that one time I dodged and weaved you. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, when I came out to you, look where we are now.
Yeah, and that's
I
always
just had to bite that bullet as, take that loss as myself. Like, hey, I messed this up. Let's make right on it somehow. And
yeah,
we did.
and we always do, and that's the thing, and I think that's important in business and in relationships in general. I think a lot of times people make things so much worse because they're so afraid. And back to the book Fear. Shout out to the book Fear. Get this book, because a lot of times the decisions we make are in anticipation of how bad something is, and
Mhm.
when you just have the conversation, a lot of times it's really not as bad as you think.
No, the
Because
conversation with you wasn't nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be.
yeah, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta
But
get
we was
people.
able to work through that and move on.
Yeah, yeah, and both sides. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, and I try my best to create opportunities to make sure, and everybody knows, like, you're my first call for whatever. I'm like, then hey, we gotta find a way to get a job site in there. There's even a couple times I bought a house, not even anticipating making money, just because I'm like, I gotta fill that gap because I
Mhm.
understand how hard it is to keep guys, like you said. If guys aren't eating, they're gonna go.
They're gonna go find somewhere else where they can make a few dollars and I can guarantee you this many hours a week, and they'll run. If you don't keep them busy, they'll go find somebody else to go work. But like you said, you've always kept me busy. And out of 4 years, this past month has only been the slowest month we've had. I can live with that. Out of 4 years, we've had a month of slow time. Man, I went on a whole 3-week vacation.
Right.
Whatever. I took that opportunity and ran with it. I
Right.
already had vacation planned out, so let's go a little longer.
Well, we're almost there. The reason why, and I think some people notice I mentioned it again, it'd be good to document it. It's this mobile home park.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not allowed to move
The
money
next step.
because the bank wants to see that the money's sitting in there. So for some of y'all who are gonna get into flipping, this is free game for y'all. So, like I said, I always kept my money moving, and it was a mistake I feel like I made because I felt like if I have $100,000, let's say in the bank, with inflation losing 7%, I just lost $7,000. So I can't keep it in the bank. I got to keep it in houses. I got to keep it moving, and I live off some of the profits. What happens is when the closings weren't coming, now I'm like, hey, I don't have money to take care of all the bills I have. And I don't
Mhm.
have little bills, like things break. I got people, I got employees, not employees. I got vendors I got to pay who have employees. I have big
Houses you gotta
houses I got to
maintain.
make, mortgages,
I moved into
evictions.
my house, had to buy a brand new AC unit.
Bang, just moved in, 7Gs,
There we go. Not even a week into the house, AC unit took a shit.
7Gs, no problem.
Just like that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and I can even tell, I'll show you this off camera too, but I'll show with the new property taxes, and I sent this out to everybody with the new property taxes and insurance, my mortgage is more than the rent. And then Lisa Marie takes a piece out of the rent. So I actually lose $200 a month on that house.
Damn it.
I'll show you. And that's
I believe you.
that's on a bunch of houses. And a lot of small landlords and a lot of landlords are dealing with that now, which is another reason why we're going to have more opportunities, because people aren't going to be able to afford that. They're not going to be able to weather the storm. And we're going to swoop right in and scoop
And
those
start
up.
buying everything.
Yeah, my phone has been insane, but I can't buy stuff because the money has to sit
For the
because
trailer
I'm
park.
buying the trailer park.
And in 2 weeks,
In 2
it's
I have,
game on.
oh my, I'm about to spend. I have
You got
these-
a little shopping list
Oh,
already.
I can't wait. I can't wait to spend that money. But it was either that or buy it cash, which is what we normally do. So the lesson is, and I know I went a roundabout way, is you got to have a little bit. So what I'm telling people now is have 3 to 6 months, maybe a year out of bills, depending on the industry you're in. If you're a realtor, you might want to have 6 months because you're living off commissions. If you're a regular Joe, you want to have 3 months because you might get laid off. I know people that pay their bills off overtime, which you should never do. You should be able to pay your bills off your regular money. Overtime should be for luxuries and so on. So yeah, we got to build up those reserves again. But I went for broke to get this mobile home park, and I passed on a lot of deals where I'm like, it's got to be worth it. It's got to be worth it. It's got to be worth it. And in 2 weeks,
We're
or
gonna
less,
find out.
appraisers going out Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
All the paperwork is already at proper. I signed up a bunch of stuff. Every day I'm with the underwriter. Every day. In about 2 weeks for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, huh?
And you'll have more work than you want.
Oh, that's fine. I can take it easy till Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, the fat man's day, anyways. All right.
Yeah, we'll have a Black Friday sale over. You have pick of the litter of all the houses and the sixplex, and we have a lot of turnover stuff. So I know it's been, like I said, a little slow, but we worked it out. You don't have other things that you don't have to worry about. I said, don't worry about it. We took care of that. So, it's good that we're in this position, and it's good that, you're there along for the ride. We got another 15, 20 years to go.
I hope so.
No, it's you guys.
I hope we switch the positions. You move up, and I'm gonna take over the podcast one day.
Yeah. I think you do an amazing job on the podcast. I think you should seriously consider doing a podcast. I think you might retire from construction work. But that being said, let me ask you another question I've been asking people recently. This season of the podcast is called Super Friends.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a theme. So if you was a superhero, whatever, who would you be? Which one?
Man, what's that little cartoon? Fix It Bob, Fix It Bob Builder, Bob the Builder.
Okay,
I'm Bob the Builder. I can build it all.
All right, cool. I like that. Bob the Builder. All right, yeah. Joshua's Batman. Everybody knows that. You never seen Batman and Joshua in the same room at the same time. I'm the Hulk because I could go switch it, and then I just and then end up like, man, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry, everybody. Excuse me, but yeah, man, I appreciate that, and I want to ask you one more. So what was one of like the best situations out of the 4 years? Because we talked about the worst house, this and that. What was like one of the best? It could have been the best house, the best deal, something that happened in your life. Like out of this 4-year run, what was one of the best things that happened to you?
I'm gonna say what we're sitting in. Remember when we talked about this, I said a certain price. And then you're like, you know what? Take another few thousand on top of that. Let's get it done. And I made for this year, most of my profit was off of this building right here.
Yeah.
It got a little tight there at the end, but that's just because drug out through winter and doing mud work here, and then splitting Lisa's office on one side, doing all of that work over there, and then stopping once that's done, and then starting all the way over from the start over here.
Yeah.
But I still made pretty good money on this building.
Yeah. And the thing for me was, it was because the way the closings weren't happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, I got money coming. Let's go forward with the job. Boom, this inspection didn't happen, or this didn't happen. And then that money moved 2 months out. And I'm like, damn, I don't have money for the flip, because I got to buy the next house I already committed to, because I thought you'd be done with this to move forward. So I'm thankful for all of that. So speaking of thankful and Thanksgiving in 2 weeks and all that coming up, I want to shout out one of my new clients, So Natural. You might have seen her and her family on Food Restaurant Impossible on the Food Network. Robert Irvine, love that show. Seen them, heard Colleen. A few years later, now we working together. So what they're doing is they have a catering service on top of their regular business, and they have, a 6 to 8 family holiday package for Thanksgiving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sponsor that. I'm giving somebody a free Thanksgiving dinner. So what we're going to do is next week on the last episode of the season, we're going to ask a question. You're going to tune in. You're going to answer the question in the comments. And if you do that, we're going to do a drawing, and you might just win a $200 dinner, 6 to 8 people, dessert, sides, stuffing, turkey, the whole thing. Anybody can enter. Dylan, you want to go? You watch
I'm
next
a
week?
hitter.
You
I'm
enter
a fat boy.
next
I'm a
week.
hitter.
Put it in, and then we're gonna do the live drawing. And I'm gonna make sure I give out at least that Thanksgiving dinner to start the holiday season. I give the Christmas bonuses. I'm happy that this year we're going to be able to give Christmas bonuses because the mobile home park closed.
Awesome.
I'm gonna say this, and then we'll go last question, and then we'll move forward. We'll wrap it up. Some people don't know this, but I said it last episode. In 2021, I had almost 200 1099s. Right? Christmas bonuses alone, $25,000.
God,
Easy. You know what you get for your Christmas
yeah, I
bonus.
know what I got
You,
last
you,
year.
you know what your team gets.
Mm-hmm.
And then think about it. I had 7 crews running. I got everybody that makes the wheels turn. I got, proper title, the banks, this, now I got the other states that we're in. Everybody got to eat. So this year I was like, man, because I know some people rely on that money for Christmas. And I'm like, man, if I close on this deal in December, I can't even move my money. So I'm happy to say that, again, we're going to close. And I think everybody's going to get their Christmas bonuses.
Everything's back on track.
We're right back on, and we're going to start 24 nice and strong. And
Start 24 like 24, 23 never happened, huh?
Yeah, 23 was rough, but it was still a good year. So in closing, unless you have anything else,
No.
you want to let people how to get to you or now, whatever, because actually you actually took your sign off your truck. It was like, nah, I'm only working with you.
No. I get people ask me all the time, you got any business cards? You got a website? I haven't posted pictures on my Facebook page in 2.5, 3 years. I've took the signs off my truck. I quit wearing my business shirts. I get tired of people at Home Depot. You got time to come do this? You got time to do that? And it states back on the comment we made earlier, why am I going to put a $15,000 job off to go do a $200 job that's going to take me 3 or 4 hours, where that 3 or 4 hours could make me that $15,000?
Right. I
got tired of doing them little jobs, and that's why we're pretty, right now when it slowed down, I stopped taking them side work, I'm done with all that,
Right.
You keep me plenty busy by yourself. I can take the break, I can find, you're giving me little bullshit jobs, just send the guys here for a day or two. I bring the guys over to my house. Hey, go clean the backyard up. Or go clean the garage. We'll keep them busy.
Right. And it's almost over. So with that, there's no questions, nothing like that. I want to appreciate everybody. Everybody, Kendra, I need that sub. If you didn't already sub to the channel, there's a little button. Just hit subscribe, and we appreciate that. Before we go, we got a question from the crowd. What's the funniest situation we find ourselves in? So do you have a funny story that you want to share? I know I got one, but you can share yours. Do you have a funny story?
A pretty fucked up story.
You can give a fucked up story. I'm sure they'll laugh.
Man, I guess a pretty fucked up story. When we was working down there on the house on Santa Rosa.
Okay.
We were doing that quick flip. It was supposed to be a quick job, but all my tools got stolen out of there.
Oh, that's right. When they had the building next door, and that house always used to get broken in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Found all the tools 3 hours later, right behind the fence. They broke in. I'm talking about they cleaned the house better than the cleaners did.
Right.
They wiped out the counters and everything. But they left the tools right next door behind the building.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't even get the tools out of there.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And just so happen, Mike and old man down there. God, bucket kind of looks like the bucket we had in here. Walk over, it's just mound of tools. Found every bit of tools that got stolen right out of there.
Yeah. I remember when we bought that house, it was vacant for like 3 years, and it was notorious for getting broken in. Everything was boarded up.
Had
and that
plywood on every window, plywood across the doors. Just to get in and look, I had to bring the drill just so we could look at it.
Yeah, that was, and I here goes my funny story. And this, I don't know if you remember this. We sued a contractor, and I asked you to come to court.
Yep.
Because you had to fix his work. My man. And this how
costed you money.
No. I wasn't even gonna mention that, but I can say that too. I'll leave that part out. That's between us. So now what happens is Dylan and your family goes way back.
Judge Cook.
Good
old Judge Cook.
Shout out to the retired, my man, 10-gallon hat. Bill Cook was the man. Was the man. I've been in Bill Cook's office dozens of times for evictions and all type of stuff. Dylan comes in. I feel like he almost dapped him up. because you knew him from working back in the days.
Yep.
Like you had a personal relationship.
Yeah. Most fucked up story from Judge Bill Cook. You know, he used to be justice of the peace. You know,
Don't say nothing crazy. Yeah.
no, I worked at Hallmark restaurant. Bill Cook walks in about 3:00 in the morning. What are you doing up this early? Oh, I just came from a hanging. Can I have 2 eggs sunny side up?
Wow. Like
He's a character.
Yeah, Bill Cook is the man. I'm telling you, he's the man. If you ever been in his court, you know exactly what he was the man. Anyway, Dylan comes in and he's Dylan. He's cursing in court. Oh, his job was bullshit. That work was shit. And Bill Cook's just sitting there looking at Dylan. And I'm like, you're gonna make me lose. Like, I'm sitting in there like a button-up shirt, sitting in there like, I hope he stops cursing. He walked in because we called him in as a witness, and he was like, "Hey, what's up, Bill?" He leaned over to the judge and said, "Like, hey, what's going on, Bill? Hey, man, so like it was like y'all knew each other for 20 years. I swear to God, I thought we were gonna leave in handcuffs. I thought I was gonna be in consent, but it was cool. And Dylan got away with it. We won the case. We won the case. So that was one of the funniest things I ever experienced in life.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, oh yeah, because that's just you being regular.
Natural to me.
Yeah, that's like me talking about like what did you say yesterday on the phone to one of them? Like, I don't know, probably something about business. I don't know. What did I say? Tell me what I said. So yeah, after that, I was like, and then you got away with it. I was like, oh yeah, Dylan, you got to stay close. You got to stay close. But yeah, we got a billion of them stories. A lot more work. We're gonna put up the video that you did today. Just a quick unit turnover, nothing crazy. But again, I appreciate everybody. Hit the sub button, tell a friend, send the link out, share the video. I appreciate everybody. We got one more episode left for the season. And I think that's gonna be a good one. Y'all want to come out and join the live audience? Food's gonna be catered. So we're gonna have a good time and end the season like we always do, man. I appreciate you for being here, bro.
Oh no, I appreciate you letting me be here. I had nothing better to do on a Wednesday night, anyways.
Alrighty. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
That was good. Appreciate you.